So breaking right now, Iranian state TV, and we know they took a blow earlier today. We saw a woman running out of their studio after it was hit in Iran, but they're reporting a new wave of Iranian missile attacks on Israel has begun. We're not seeing evidence of it in the skies over Tel Aviv at this moment, but of course we'll keep you posted as we get more information there. Now, President Trump offering Iran a last chance to make a deal to get to zero uranium enrichment if they want to survive this situation in the war with Israel. That coming from the Jerusalem Post reporting. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly says that he's not interested in what he calls fake talks. My next guest says Israel's military operation will, quote, shape the next era of the Middle East. Lizzie Savetsky is an American social media influencer. She is a pro-Israeli activist. She has been since October 7th, back and forth 7 times to Israel and was supposed to be there right now. Lizzie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here today. What do you make of this last offer for talks? And do you think it's similar to the 60-day offer, after which, if this doesn't work, perhaps President Trump might unleash more American power?
You know, I wonder if there's a good cop, bad cop dynamic going on here.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to the story than we know. And, you know, President Trump is playing good cop, saying we're giving you every opportunity to put you out of your misery if you want to come back to the negotiating table. But let's be realistic. We know that they're not going to. And as Bibi says, this is fake. And so why are we going to waste our time? We need to get this job done, and we need to finish it.
What do you think about the fact that most reporting reveals that the program is still not destroyed, that the Fordo nuclear plant is not destroyed? A couple of other places are not. Natanz is probably not completely destroyed its ability to enrich uranium. And what do you think has to happen because of that reality?
Well, first of all, this military operation is absolutely historic. We are living through history right now. And, you know, what they've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time, Israel fighting alone is unbelievable. People would have accused them of potentially starting World War III. And we've seen that no other countries in the region have been impacted by this. It's unbelievable. But we have to finish the job. We cannot leave Iran until they are completely denuclearized. And the only way that a ceasefire would be possible would be if Iran would agree to completely stop enriching uranium and if the regime would agree to leave.
So Peter Doocy, our reporter on the scene at the G7, says that a White House official is telling us, and we heard some wind of this earlier today, that President Trump will not sign the G7 joint statement that was expected to call for Israel and Iran to de-escalate, and that President Trump will continue to work towards ensuring Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. What do you read into that, Lizzie?
I think it's amazing. I think that this is exactly what we need, is America and Israel together holding hands. And frankly, I think that Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump should be receiving a Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts here, because this is going to change the entire face of the Middle East, but they are also saving the entire Western world from nuclear disaster. And I think, you know, it's exactly what we want to see, this team aligned, and they're not going to they're not going to leave until the job is done.
Lizzie, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Lizzie Savetsky, great to have you with us. It's a fast-moving story and a historic one, as you point out. Just an incredible operation so far, and a lot of Israeli might and courage. And we'll see if Iran decides to come to the table and where President Trump is going next with all of this. Thank you, Lizzie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.